The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened in unprecedented chaos. Council Prime Thektar's bioluminescent patterns flickered with distress as he addressed the assembled representatives of 63 civilizations, each displaying their species equivalent of profound alarm. "The Ketani supremacy," Thektar announced, his voice resonating through quantum translation matrices, "no longer exists." Silence fell across the chamber like a gravity well. The Ketani had been the Council's greatest threat for over 2 centuries, a militant civilization with 40 billion citizens across 12 star systems, possessing weapons technology that had stalemated galactic peacekeeping forces for generations. Ambassador Zix of the Crystalline Collective was first to find her voice. Destroyed? How many human fleets did it require? What was the casualty count? "That's just it," Thektar replied, his chromatophores pulsing with confusion. There were no battles, no human fleets, no casualties. The Ketani simply aren't anymore. Dr. Valex, the Meridian Federation's chief military analyst, activated his holo display. "Show them the scan data from the Ketani systems." The chamber's central projection filled with detailed sensor readings from what had been Ketani space. 12 star systems showed perfectly normal stellar activity. Planets orbited their suns in stable patterns. Asteroids and cosmic dust drifted exactly as gravitational models predicted. But there was no trace that any civilization had ever existed there. "This is impossible," declared General Vorthak of the hegemony, his 6 arms gesticulating wildly. 40 billion beings don't just vanish. Where are the ruins? The debris fields? The industrial scarring? There are none, Dr. Valex confirmed. The planets show no signs of ever having been inhabited. No atmospheric contamination, no geological evidence of mining or construction, no electromagnetic signatures of technology. It's as if the Ketani never existed. Councillor Prexa leaned forward, her energy form crackling with anxiety. "Are you suggesting the humans have developed weapons capable of erasing all trace of a civilization? Some form of matter conversion technology?" "We investigated that possibility," Thektar replied. "We sent our best xenoarchaeologists, quantum historians, and temporal analysts. They found something far more disturbing. The display shifted to show crystalline structures that hurt to look at directly geometric forms that seem to exist in too many dimensions simultaneously. These are causality matrices," Dr. Valex explained. "Human constructs that appear to edit reality itself." Ambassador Chen stepped forward from the human delegation, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the agitation surrounding her. She wore the same simple civilian clothes that had become humanity's diplomatic uniform, yet something about her presence made the chamber's reality feel more focused. "You want to understand what happened to the Ketani," she said, her voice carrying easily through the space without amplification. "The truth is simpler than you think, and more complex than you can accept." "Explain," demanded General Vorthak. Chen's expression remained serene. "The Ketani never existed." The chamber erupted in protests, technological squeals of disbelief, and patterns of light that indicated severe cognitive distress among energy-based species. "We have records," shouted Ambassador Zix. 2 centuries of diplomatic exchanges, battle reports, trade agreements. "You have edited records," Chen corrected gently. "When we discovered that the Ketani's aggression stemmed from a fundamental incompatibility with peaceful coexistence, we didn't fight them. We corrected the historical timeline." Dr. Valek's display began showing impossible readings. "Your instruments can detect the causality editing," Chen continued. "Reality bears scars where the changes occurred. What you can't comprehend is that consciousness and time are far more flexible than your physics assume." Thektar's massive intellect struggled with the implications. "You're claiming you can rewrite history, Change the past itself? Not change, Chen said. Optimize. The Kitani chose to be aggressive, territorial, unwilling to coexist. So we selected a probability stream where they made different choices. In the corrected timeline, they never developed those traits. They evolved into something compatible with galactic peace. Where are they now? Whispered Councillor Prexter. Chen smiled. They're the Kethera Federation. Peaceful explorers and artists, located in the spiral arm you call the Harmony Sector. They've been valued council members for 300 years. Your own records will confirm this, though you may experience some cognitive dissonance as your memories adjust. The assembly sat in stunned silence as their databanks updated themselves, showing centuries of peaceful cooperation with a species they had never heard of moments before. This is monstrous, General Vorthak breathed. You've committed genocide on a temporal scale. Have we? Chen asked. The Ketani still exist. 40 billion souls, living fulfilling lives, creating art, exploring the cosmos, contributing to galactic culture. We simply removed their capacity for causing suffering. Ambassador Zik's crystalline form was resonating at frequencies that suggested deep horror. But who decides? Who gives you the right to determine which aspects of a civilization are incompatible with peace? The universe does, Chen replied. Consciousness creates reality through observation and choice. When a species consistently chooses paths that lead to suffering, reality itself begins to suggest alternatives. We've learned to perceive these suggestions and help implement them. The display now showed dozens of similar causality matrices throughout galactic space. How many? Whispered Dr. Valex. We've optimized 14 civilizations in the past century, Chen confirmed. The Vortok Confederation became the Peaceful Vorta Collective. The Nexus Swarm evolved into individual philosophers. The Dead Fleet found their way to becoming the Living Gardens. She gestured toward the assembled council. Your records show these species as they always have been peaceful, contributing members of galactic society. It's only during these interventions that you briefly remember the alternative timelines. Tegtar's chromatophores had gone completely still. You're not warriors. You're editors of existence itself. We're gardeners, Chen corrected. We cultivate realities where consciousness can flourish without causing unnecessary suffering. War is inefficient. It destroys possibilities and perpetuates trauma across generations. Why fight enemies when you can help them never have become enemies in the first place? The chamber remained silent as the implications settled over them like a blanket of existential vertigo. What about us? General Vorthak asked quietly. What if you decide the council itself is incompatible with galactic peace? Chen's smile carried genuine warmth. The council serves its purpose. You provide structure for species that need time to evolve beyond the necessity for external governance. When you're ready to transcend those limitations, you'll do so naturally. She turned to leave, then paused. But we'll be here when you are. In all the timelines where you choose growth over stagnation, cooperation over control. We're already waiting in those realities, ready to welcome you to what comes after councils and negotiations. As she walked away, the assembly noticed that their memories were beginning to feel strange, as if they contained echoes of conversations that had never happened, wars that had never been fought, threats that had never existed. And somewhere in the quantum foam of possibility, 14 civilizations continued their peaceful existence, blissfully unaware that they had ever been anything other than what they were.